Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to your own YouTube channel. We call it as Exam Norm. I welcome you all in the next session that is for Finance Current Affairs, and we call it Finance Norm. It's a series which is live on Tuesday, Thursday, as well as Saturday. As you all know, in this particular session, we discuss all the important updates, circulars, notifications related to RBI as well as SEBI and the other regulatory bodies because a direct question is expected from these circulars in your upcoming examination. If you are preparing for different bank exams, IBPS, SBI, PU, and many other exams, then also this session is a must watch session because recently IBPS ने अपने syllabus में ये term include की है, that is RBI circulars, and trust me, I'll try my level best to simplify the circulars जो कि आपको अपने लेवल पे पढ़ने में काफी ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम होगी. So if you are thinking कि circulars बाद में कर लेंगे just before the examination, that's not going to happen. You need to cover the circulars on regular basis and that too in a simplified manner so that you can remember it for long before you go for the examination. Okay? So before I start, just confirm in the comment section if audio as well as video is fine. I'm loud and clear so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. Give me a thumbs up everybody so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. आज का जो सेशन है काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. 4 न्यूज़ हैं आज और फर्स्ट न्यूज़ इज़ फ्रॉम IRDAI, सेकेंड न्यूज़ इज़ फ्रॉम पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स, थर्ड न्यूज़ एंड द फोर्थ न्यूज़ बोथ आर फ्रॉम RBI. तो 4 न्यूज़ हैं, काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है एंड दे आर द हाई प्रोबेबल न्यूज़ विच कैन बी आस्क्ड इन द एग्जामिनेशन फॉर श्योर. ठीक, done, everything is fine. I hope audio video is fine. You have given a thumbs up, so that's good. So let's get started. Just give me a second. If you haven't shared the link of this session with your friends, I would request you guys quickly copy the link of the session, share with your friends. I'm also doing that. You also do it with me. Let's simultaneously share the link and ask the other students to please come and join so that they can learn new things which is going to help them in their upcoming examination. ओके, तो फर्स्ट न्यूज जहां से हम आज के इस सेशन की शुरुआत करेंगे दैट इज रिलेटेड टू IRDAI. इफ आई गेट द फुल फॉर्म फॉर IRDAI इन द कमेंट सेक्शन, anybody can give me the full form. IRDAI stands for, so it stands for Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, and this Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India is basically the regulator of insurance sector. The way we have RBI as the regulator of banking sector, in a similar manner we have the regulator of insurance sector, and that regulator is called as IRDAI. We all know that there is a target set by IRDAI, that is insurance for all by 2047, and in order to achieve this insurance for all 2047 target, recently IRDAI has made certain changes. So let's read about it. Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India has approved a comprehensive package of regulatory, supervisory and developmental reforms. So basically IRDAI has announced the reforms. These are regulatory reforms, supervisory reforms and developmental reforms in order to modernize the insurance sector, in order to liberalize the insurance sector, in order to ease doing business in insurance sector so that we can witness the expansion of insurers, we can witness the increase in new insurance companies registering in the country, which will undoubtedly increase the insurance penetration in India. So these reforms basically aim to improve ease of doing business, strengthen governance, enhance policyholder protection, that means protection of you and me, those who are using the policies, those who are getting the benefits from the policy, as well as facilitate capital formation and support the implementation of Sabka Bima, Sabki Raksha. Sabka Bima, Sabki Raksha. For that amendment of Insurance Law Act 2025, we call this act as SBSR Act, Sabka Bima, Sabki Raksha Act. So in order to support the implementation of this act, these reforms have been announced, and the long-term target set by IRDAI is none other than insurance for all by 2047. Insurance for all by 2047. इंश्योरेंस फॉर ऑल बाय 2047। इज दिस पॉइंट क्लियर? ठीक है। अब बात करते हैं कि सर क्या क्या चेंजेस अनाउंस किए गए हैं, व्हाट आर दोज मेजर चेंजेस विच हैव बीन अनाउंस्ड, एंड दीज मेजर चेंजेस दे इन्वॉल्व सर्टेन कॉन्सेप्ट्स एज वेल. सो आई वुड लव टू discuss those concepts with you one by one, so please pay attention on the screen. The first concept is basically related to insurers. It is basically related to insurers. Insurers basically means insurance companies. We all know that we have different types of insurance companies operating in the country. One we have is life insurance companies. The other category we have is general insurance companies. So both these category companies are being operating in the country. So how actually the insurance companies they work, that understanding is very important. Take an example. Let's take an example. We have an insurance company. This insurance company offer a policy to the policyholder, and this policyholder is responsible to pay premium, against the policy benefit, and in case of any risk or in case of any loss in the near future, this insurance company will compensate, and we call that compensation as claim. So basically insurance है क्या सर? इंश्योरेंस बेसिकली एक रिस्क मैनेजमेंट टेक्निक है जहां पे हम अपने रिस्क को मैनेज करते हैं, वेयर वी परचेज अ पॉलिसी, एंड उस पॉलिसी के अकॉर्डिंग इफ एनीथिंग गोज रॉन्ग इन द नियर फ्यूचर, compensation will be given by the insurance company. अब इंश्योरेंस कंपनी को प्रॉफिट क्या है सर? प्रॉफिट बड़ा सिंपल है कि प्रीमियम इज रिसीव्ड बाय एवरीवन और बाय ऑल दी पॉलिसी होल्डर्स, बट claim is not generated by all the policy holders, and the difference between claim generated as well as the premium received is the profit of the insurance company. But actually insurance company is responsible to pay the claims, which means public is dependent on insurance companies, and if anything goes wrong with the insurance company in the near future, that will impact the existence, that will impact the benefits for the public, not at same intensity as of bank, but at a good intensity level. So RBI, so government kya chahti hai? So government wants that these insurance companies should operate appropriately, and that is the reason they ask IRDAI to keep a close eye on these insurance companies. तो IRDAI ने इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज को कहा कि भैया प्रीमियम तो आपको रिसीव हो रहा है हर साल और आपको क्लेम पे करना, बट premium is received on regular basis, and insurance companies they are allowed as well as asked to invest the premium. Why they are allowed to ask, or why they are allowed as well as asked or demanded to invest the premium? So that is quite obvious कि भैया जो आप प्रीमियम पब्लिक से ले रहे हैं, मान लो किसी को 2 लाख रुपए का इंश्योरेंस दिया, 200 रुपए का प्रीमियम लिया, अब वो 200 रुपए के प्रीमियम को सर कहीं इन्वेस्ट कर लो, कहीं इन्वेस्ट करोगे तो कुछ प्रॉफिट आएगा, कुछ रिटर्न आएगा, देन द क्रेडिबिलिटी, द सॉल्वेंसी ऑफ द इंश्योरेंस कंपनी विल इंप्रूव, जिससे पब्लिक का जो रिस्क है और ऑल दोज इन्वेस्टर्स हु हैव इन्वेस्टेड और ऑल दोज individuals or the entities who have enjoyed or who have purchased the policies from the insurance company, they can enjoy the claim in the near future. But the problem was earlier, where to invest, how much to invest, when to invest, where to invest, how much to invest, how to invest, when to invest, all these decisions were very clearly mentioned by IRDAI. मतलब IRDAI बहुत क्लोजली रेगुलेट करता था इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज को और उन्हें बताता था कि भैया कितना पैसा आप इन्वेस्ट करोगे, कहां इन्वेस्ट करोगे, कब इन्वेस्ट करोगे, कैसे इन्वेस्ट करोगे, जस्ट टू प्रोवाइड एक्स्ट्रा सेफगार्ड, जस्ट टू प्रोवाइड एक्स्ट्रा सेफ्टी टू द पब्लिक. बट अब ये देखा गया कि सर ये कहीं ना कहीं इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज की एग्जिस्टेंस को इंपैक्ट कर रहा है, कहीं ना कहीं इट इज इंपैक्टिंग देयर ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस, कहीं ना कहीं इट इज इंपैक्टिंग देयर फ्लो ऑफ फंड्स. सो दैट इज द रीजन recently under the recent amendment it has been announced that now this regulation will be moving to management. So where IRDAI will not very clearly mention where to invest, how much to invest, when to invest, how to invest. Rather, RBI will only give the list, prohibition list. That means you cannot invest in these of the following instruments. Rest you can invest independently. So I would say this regulation has been liberalized. It's not free. It's not freedom. It is liberalization. So liberalization means you are allowed to invest freely in comparison to the above strict norms, but still you cannot invest independently. You cannot take independent decisions. Still you have to rely on the norms, on the decisions given by IRDAI. Given by IRDAI. Is this point clear, everybody? Is this point clear, everybody? अरे भाई समझ आया या नहीं, हाँ या ना तो बता दो. Is this point clear, everybody? Do reply in the comment section. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if it is clear. Done, done, done. Very good. Now let's move on to the next point. Now let's move on to the next point. सर ये जो आपने डिस्कस किया related to liberalization, this is basically the liberalized investment which has been presented in the recent amendment which has been done. The next point over here is that is independence in terms of capital formation. Independence in terms of capital formation, in terms of capital fusion. What is this capital fusion? So capital fusion का मतलब होता है, let's suppose एक कंपनी है, please pay attention. Let's suppose एक कंपनी है, उस कंपनी की asset value है let's say 1000 करोड़. अब आपको पता होगा, पेड कोर्स में पढ़ा चुका हूँ, asset कंपनी की liability है 900 करोड़. तो इसके बीच का जो गैप है, asset minus liability, that is 1000 crores. That is 1000 crores. So this 1000 crore is a very important aspect. This 1000 crore is a very important aspect with respect to the current announcement. The reason is the company now want to expand its business and need additional financial strength. So in this case, company can easily inject 500 crore rupees or maybe 700 crore rupees into the company. So whenever, what is this capital infusion means? So capital infusion means the company's net worth is positive. If the company's net worth is positive, company can ask its existing shareholders, to invest the funds, or company can even raise the funds from the new shareholders, and this new funds will be raised against the shares in order to expand the operation. So this independence, or I would say this freedom, has been also given in the recent announcement. Let's read it first, तो आपको ज़्यादा clear होगा. देखना ज़रा क्या point है. The point over here is the first one. Insurers have been provided greater operational and financial flexibility through liberalized investment norms. That means now the investment norms are liberalized. There is no need to remember the list, prohibition list. There is no need to remember the nitty-gritties of this, but whatever I have explained you, if you can understand that concept and you can remember this sentence, this is more than sufficient. Second point is, facilitative framework has been introduced for capital infusion. That means now insurance companies, they are allowed to raise capital from their shareholders, maybe existing or the new shareholders, that is allowed. Second is corporate restructuring. What is corporate restructuring? So corporate restructuring includes change in ownership, change in shareholding, recognition of business structure, transfer of business, merger or amalgamation. For example, company A is a life insurance company. Let's say company B is a general insurance company, and over the time they realized that if we are existing independently, it's going to be tough for individual company to survive. It's better let's merge together and we form life as well as general insurance, or we provide life as well as general insurance simultaneously. So this kind of decision can be now taken by the company itself. So earlier there were very strict norms with respect to corporate restructuring, but now IRDA has again liberalized it. If you feel that you want to get merged, you just raise your request in front of IRDI, and the chances are pretty high that you get the approval from IRDI for merger or maybe for acquisition. Then we have transfer of shares. So what is this transfer of share? It means suppose investor A owns share in insurance company. Investor A may want to sell those shares to investor B. So such transactions, they are particularly important in insurance companies because ownership can have implications for management, control, financial strength, governance, as well as policyholder interest. So therefore, share transfers cannot be treated like an ordinary transaction in an unregulated company. The regulatory framework seeks to facilitate legitimate transactions while ensuring that the incoming investor is suitable. It should ensure that ownership remains transparent. It should ensure that regulatory requirements are satisfied, but still, now transfer of shares has also been allowed, and it is allowed in a more liberalized manner. तो इन सब से हो क्या रहा है सर? इन सब से फायदा हो रहा है इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज को. It is basically giving them ease of doing business scenario. Ease of doing business scenario in the country. Doing business scenario in the country. And if I'm not wrong, India has allowed up to 100% FDI in insurance sector. So if you are inviting the foreign investors to invest in insurance sector, then your insurance sector should obviously look like the sector which can be accepted, which can be taken into consideration by all the investors out there. At the same time, IRDAI has strengthened actuarial oversight and financial governance to ensure financial stability. I don't know how many of you have heard this term, but what is this actuarial sciences? Sir, actuarial sciences basically means use of mathematics, statistics, probability, and financial modeling. When we use mathematics, probability, financial modeling, statistics to estimate the future risk and liabilities, that is known as actuarial oversight. So now IRDAI has also come up with the statement that under this Act amendment, IRDAI has strengthened the actuarial oversight. That means now insurance companies, they will be using the actuarial science in order to identify their future risk, and by identifying the future risk, they will try to mitigate the same, which will reduce the probability of default, and it will increase the solvency of the insurance companies. So how, for example, an insurance company may have to estimate how much money will we need to pay policyholders for next 10, 20 or 30 years. So this is not an exact calculation because future claims are uncertain, but still actuarial sciences will help to estimate expected claims on the basis of mortality rate, on the basis of claim frequency, reserves, future liabilities, and whatnot. Is this point clear? So why this actuarial oversight is needed? Sir, on one side, if you are liberalizing the sector which is important with respect to the public, so in that particular case, if on one side you are liberalizing it, on the other side you should make it more intelligent in order to avoid losses in the near future. ठीक है जी. Next point we have is, under this act or under this amendment, IRDAI has approved Policyholders Education and Protection Fund. I hope you must have heard Depositors Education and Awareness Fund. This is a fund which is managed by RBI, और इस फंड में, इस अकाउंट में जितना भी पैसा होगा, इस फंड में, इस अकाउंट में जितना भी पैसा है, that is basically used by RBI for public awareness. That means awareing the public with respect to the banking sector, making the depositors aware, making the borrowers aware in a similar manner with an initial capital. Please check it once. बताना मुझे comment section में check करके, what is the initial capital of this fund? According to me, it is 800 crores, but don't trust me. Don't trust me. Check it and confirm this in the comment section after the class. So coming back to the point, IRDA has approved setting up of Policyholders Education and Protection Fund. These regulations will be operationalized under the Section 16 of IRDA Act 1999, and now it is inserted through SBSR, that is Sabka बीमा सबकी सुरक्षा एक्ट. सो रिमेंबर दैट कि अब IRDAI के अंडर भी एक फंड बनाया गया एंड दैट फंड विल बी यूटिलाइज्ड बाय IRDAI फॉर policy holder awareness, where the policy holders will be given the awareness, what is your policy all about, how this policy you are going to use, what is going to be your benefit, everything is going to be I would say everything is going to be delivered to the public through awareness campaigns and other initiatives. So educate the policyholders as well as protect the policyholders is the ultimate aim of this particular account. Now remember that this account will be used to aware the public what their insurance policy covers, how to file a claim, how to file a grievance redressal, or what is the grievance redressal process, what is the importance of reading exclusions, as well as it will also make the policyholders aware about their rights. The initial capital with which this account is being set up, or this fund is being set up, that is 800 crore rupees. That is 800 crore rupees. Moving on to the next one. The next is reforms for the insurance intermediaries. Now, what are these intermediaries? Sir, intermediaries are insurance companies and public. So, insurance company is responsible to provide the policy or provide the insurance. Public is responsible to enjoy the insurance facility. Then we have insurance intermediaries. These are the mediators which basically act as an agent, act as a service provider, act as a I would say helping hand for the insurance companies as well as for the public in order to complete the process of purchase and sale of insurance products. Now these insurance intermediaries, they are operating in the country and they are also regulated by IRDAI, and because they are regulated by IRDAI, so under the new act or under this act amendment, certain announcements have been done. What are those announcements? The first is, अगर मैं बात करूं insurance intermediaries की, what was the earlier structure of insurance intermediaries? So earlier structure of the insurance intermediaries, जैसे कि मैं बात करना चाह रहा हूँ insurance brokers की, I'm talking about corporate agents, I'm talking about web aggregators and other authorized distribution channels who all are responsible for distributing the insurance products on the behalf of the insurance company. पहले क्या था sir? These insurance intermediaries, the registration of these intermediaries was renewed periodically. So their registration was renewed periodically. For example, कि आज आपने एक इंश्योरेंस इंटरमीडियरी बनाई तो भैया आपको लाइसेंस जो दिया जाएगा that will be given for let's say 5 years, और आपको बोला जाएगा come back after 5 years and get the registration done again. So this is a very I would say operation heavy प्रोसेस फॉर द इंटरमीडियरीज. क्यों? क्योंकि भैया वो सारे कागज फिर से दो, वो सारे पेपर्स फिर से दो, वो सारे प्रूफ्स फिर से दो, वो सारे रजिस्ट्रेशंस फिर से कराओ. दैट इज नॉट appropriate. So keeping this in mind, that is not appropriate, and keeping this in mind, what happened this time IRDAI has come up with a statement where IRDAI is saying कि भैया टेंशन मत लो, you register once, your registration will be done once. Your registration will be done once and it will be perpetual. Perpetual means it will be accepted. The registration will be accepted for long term, or in general we can use a term infinite as well, where the new framework registration becomes perpetual, which means intermediary does not have to repeatedly apply for renew after a fixed period. As long as it continues to satisfy the regulatory requirements, they will be enjoying the operations. तो यहाँ पे they have been given unrestricted or I would say they have been given perpetual registration, but this means this registration will be valid until intermediaries are following the compliance system. If they go out of the compliance system, if they are not fulfilling the IRDA norms, then this registration can be cancelled by IRDA whenever required. But not only this, along with this perpetual registration, you are asked, or intermediaries are asked to pay annual fees कि भैया अब आपको हर साल रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं करानी, बट वो जो हर साल आप रजिस्ट्रेशन कराने आते थे और फीस लेके आते थे, वो फीस हर साल देनी है, फीस से नहीं आप बच सकते. सो यू हैव टू पे द फीस ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस, दैट इज ऑन एनुअल बेसिस, but you are not asked to get yourself registered on regular basis. Then we have mandatory tagging of authorized salesperson to every insurance proposal, insurance policy and certificate of insurance. इसका मतलब क्या है सर? इसका मतलब क्या है? Basically, this is important with respect to you and me, that is customer, and it is important for customer protection and accountability. So this framework requires the authorized salespersons involved in selling or distributing the insurance products. So agar anybody is selling the insurance product, then that insurance product seller, that salesperson should be tagged to, उसको टैग किया जाएगा. टैगिंग का क्या मतलब होता है सर? टैगिंग का मतलब है क्रिएटिंग अ क्लियर रिकॉर्ड ऑफ हु वाज ऑथोराइज्ड सेल पर्सन रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर insurance transaction. So instead of having an insurance policy where the identity of the salesperson is unclear, the transaction is digitally linked to a specific authorized salesperson, and now it will be assurance to the customer कि भैया जो आपके सामने बैठा है, जो आपको अपनी इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी बेच रहा है, कोई टेंशन नहीं है, उसका linkage इसके साथ हो चुका है. You can even check. So every insurance proposal, every insurance policy and every certificate of insurance will be linked. For example, suppose Rahul, he's an authorized salesperson of a insurance intermediary and he sells health insurance policy, let's say to Priya. ठीक है? So the transaction would have a clear association. Priya or Rahul, they have a clear association in terms of Priya will receive an insurance proposal and this insurance proposal will be shared by Rahul, and Rahul is the authorized salesperson. That announcement is already given, or that information is already given to Priya. Then policy will be shared to Priya. Again, Rahul will be mentioned over there. Then certificate of insurance will be issued to Priya. Again, name of the salesperson, that is Rahul, will be mentioned over there. So therefore, if there is any kind of mis-selling, incorrect information or failure to explain the policy terms or inappropriate product recommendations or customer grievance, then there will be a clear audit trial कि भैया राहुल ने ये पॉलिसी दिखाई थी, राहुल ने ये वादे किए थे, राहुल ने ये पॉलिसी क्लोज की है, आओ राहुल को पकड़ो, उसने क्या गलत बोला है, let's see why the customer is being dished by Rahul, let's check it out. That is what is important. So it's basically important for transparency and accountability of the policy holders. ठीक है जी. Moving on to the next, these are the acts basically which are, or I would say these are basically the regulations which have been introduced for different initiatives which I just discussed with you. It leads to ease of doing business, we got it. It will strengthen the policyholder protection, we got it. Registration of new insurers. So Indian insurance companies, they are doing well, and recently we have witnessed a new company which has registered, that is Protec General Insurance Limited. So certificate of registration is basically the license certificate which is issued by IRDA, which allows the insurance company to operate. So in 2026 till now we have recorded 2 general insurance companies who have received this certificate of registration, 1 health insurance company as well as 1 insurance company. So these are the companies who all have already received the certificate of registration in this year, certificate of registration in 2026. Okay, if I give you the names, if I can recall, let's try. So first is Kiwi General Insurance Limited, It was in 2026. Then we have Alliance. Then we have Alliance Geo Reinsurance. Reinsurance Limited. Limited. Then we have health insurance. In case of health insurance, we have Prudential HCL. Prudential HCL. Prudential HCL Health Insurance Limited. And the fourth one we have is Protec General Insurance Company. General Insurance Limited. ठीक है जी. So these are the companies which have been registered in 2026. समझ आ गई बात? मजा आया होगा. आई होप ईच एंड एवरी पॉइंट जितनी डिटेल में मैंने आपको समझाया, मुझे नहीं लगता कि अब आप भूलेंगे. और अगर कोई क्वेश्चन आपके एग्जामिनेशन में यहां से पूछा जाएगा, आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग that you guys will be in a position to answer it for sure. I'm expecting that you guys will be in a position to answer it for sure. Please let me know in the comment section. Please let me know in the comment section with yes sir, and then we'll solve a question on the same. Then we'll solve a question on the same. Okay, done. Let's solve a question. With reference to the recent IRDAI regulatory reforms, with reference to the IRDAI regulatory reforms approved in July 2026, consider the following statements. The reforms seek to provide insurers greater operational and flexibility, financial flexibility through liberalized investment norms. True, sir. The reform introduced a facilitative framework for capital infusion, transfer of shares, and amalgamation of insurers. This is correct. The reform reduced, no sir, it has increased actuarial oversight to provide greater operational autonomy to the insurers. So this is wrong. So answer to this particular question is going to be B option. Here we go with the next question. As you all know, next question is going to be your homework. So take the screenshot. Take the screenshot and I will be giving the answer of this question in the next class. From next class onwards, guys, I will be adding all the homework questions in revision part. So before we start the class, we'll revise those homework questions and then we will be moving ahead. ठीक है जी? Start करें. Let's move on to the second news. The second news is related to public sector banks. ये न्यूज़ क्या है, दो लाइनों में बताता हूँ, बाकी आप पढ़ लेना. सर न्यूज़ बस इतनी है कि पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स मतलब गवर्नमेंट ओन्ड बैंक्स, मतलब SBI, PNB, Central Bank of India, Indian Overseas Bank. In total, they are 12. In total, we have 12 public sector banks which are operating in the country. So as per the latest report or as per the latest information which has been given by government to the parliament, it states that in last 5 years, profit of the public sector banks has become 3 times. Profit of the commercial bank has become 3 times, and gross NPA, that is non-performing asset, it is all-time low. Gross NPA is all-time low. So this is a good information which has been shared by the government. It's not only important for the country, it is important for us as well. Direct or indirect question can be asked in our examination related to public sector banks. तो मैं जल्दी से पढ़ देता हूँ, इसमें कोई ज़्यादा रॉकेट साइंस है नहीं. न्यूज़ बस इतनी सी है कि सर अगर हम नेट प्रॉफिट की बात करें, द नेट प्रॉफिट रिकॉर्डेड बाय पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक, जिसको नहीं पता नेट प्रॉफिट का मतलब टर्नओवर माइनस cost of goods sold, that is cost price, gives you gross profit, minus Operational expenditure, you get earning before interest tax, earning before interest depreciation, earning before interest depreciation tax and amortization. So minus interest minus depreciation minus amortization, it gives you earning before tax minus tax, it gives you earning after tax. This is actually net profit. So it has increased three times. So in the recent financial year 2025-26, it has been recorded 1.98 lakh crore rupees, which was last year 1.78 lakh crores, and 5 years ago it was 0.67 lakh crore, means it was 67,000 crores. तो लगभग 70,000 crore से बढ़कर कितना हो गया, 2 lakh crore हो गया, which is important. Next point is, so gross NPA. So gross NPA is reduced to 1.9%, which was 7.3% 5 years ago. So if you can see, it has almost come down by 3.5 times. It has almost come down by 3.5 times or almost 4 times. So remember this data as well. This is important. Now the question is, so what is the benefit of all this? So it is very important. अगर आपके बैंक strong है, so it means your economy is going to perform really very well, because banks, they act as a very important source of fund for the economy. So strong growth in banking business, so total business of the public sector bank, अगर प्रॉफिट बढ़े तो बिजनेस भी बढ़ा होगा. सो बिजनेस हैज इंक्रीज फ्रॉम 181 lakh crores to 283 lakh crores. Deposit has increased to 156 lakh crores, and loans as well as advances have increased to 127 lakh crore rupees. So this is basic increase which has been done. These data are also important. ये data भी याद रख लेना. Yearly data है तो अगले साल तक काम आएंगे, which means it will be helpful in 2027 examination as well. So this is important to remember. कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी रेशियो, जिसको पता है बहुत बढ़िया, जिसको नहीं पता अभी पेड कोर्सेज में पढ़ाऊंगा. थोड़ा सा बताता हूँ. कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी का मतलब है बैंक्स कैपिटल डिवाइडेड बाय बैंक्स रिस्क. सो इफ द बैंक्स कैपिटल डिवाइडेड बाय बैंक्स रिस्क, if it is greater than or equals to 9%, that is accepted as per Basel norms. But in India, public sector banks, they have earlier recorded at 14.6%, and now it has recorded to 16.66%, which is way above, the minimum required value, and it has increased as well in the last 5 years. It has increased as well in the last 5 years. Now, if I see the credit growth, we all know that credit growth is greater than deposit growth, which is not a good sign. But in general, if we have a good credit growth, it is good for an economy, because अगर लोन बढ़ रहा है मार्केट में तो पब्लिक की डिमांड, तो इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ रही है, प्रोडक्शन बढ़ रही है, जीडीपी बढ़ रही है, इनकम बढ़ रही है, डिमांड बढ़ रही है, ग्रोथ बढ़ रही है. तो रिटेल लोन्स, they have witnessed the highest increase or highest growth, 19.8%. MSME loans witness a growth of 19.6%, agriculture loan 16.2%, infrastructure loan 4.9%. ये आपके ऊपर है. You want to learn it or not? If you can read it, that is going to solve the purpose. I have no issue with it. As per May 2026, government has launched emergency credit line guarantee scheme in May 2026. It is 5.0. That means it is not the first time this scheme has been launched. Rather, it has been improved version has been launched in May 2026. So this scheme is basically to provide liquidity support to business which are affected by rising costs due to the Western Asian crisis. तो यहाँ पे है क्या? So this emergency credit line guarantee scheme basically provides loan. It basically provides loan, or it basically provides capacity to borrow the loan whenever the businesses are in needs. And what is the fund allocation for ECLGS 5.0? So for the ECLGS 5.0, the approved funds are 18,000 crores. The approved funds are 18,000 crores. तो लोन नहीं है सर, ये गारंटी है. Are you getting this point? Credit line guarantee. So you will get credit line guarantee. That means कि आपको क्रेडिट मिलेगा, उसकी गारंटी प्रोवाइड की जा रही है. Is this point clear? Everything is clear? Give me yes, sir. I hope it is clear. Let's try to solve a question on the same. If it is clear, give me yes, sir. I hope it is clear. Let's try to solve a question on the same. Chalo, let's move ahead. Here we have a question. So, with reference to the financial performance of public sector banks in financial year 2025-26, consider the following statement. Public sector banks, they have recorded a net profit of 1.98 lakh crore rupees. That is correct. Gross NPA dropped down to 1.9%. Correct. Capital adequacy ratio has not declined, rather it has improved from 2021-22 to 2025-26. So keeping that in mind, so B statement is correct, 1 and 2 are correct, but the third statement is wrong. Is it clear? So B statement is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. As you all know, this is going to be your homework. So 1 second. Quickly take the screenshot for the fourth question, which is going to be your homework, which you have to answer in the comment section below once the class is complete. So once you have taken the screenshot, give me yes, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope the screenshot is done. Moving on to the next news. The next news is again really very important. Let's try to understand the next news as well. So what does this next news says? How this next news is related? What are the points? So this is basically an announcement which is done by RBI. You can technically call it as one of the RBI circulars. अब अगर आप इस सर्कुलर को खोलेंगे, if you will open up the RBI website, let me showcase you. चलो पहले पढ़ते हैं है क्या, फिर मजा आएगा कि हमने क्या पढ़ा और दिया क्या हुआ है, फिर आपको शायद बातें समझ आए. तो आरबीआई का एक सर्कुलर आया एंड आरबीआई सर्कुलर इज बेसिकली रिलेटेड टू और इट इज बेसिकली implemented on commercial banks. We call them as scheduled commercial banks, small finance banks, RRBs, local area banks, payment banks. तो जितने भी different types of banks हैं which are operating in the country, this particular circular is implemented on all of them. This particular circular is basically implemented on all of them. अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि सर ये जो सर्कुलर है जिसकी आप बात कर रहे हैं, अच्छा अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स में है. अब पॉइंट ये है कि सर इस सर्कुलर की जब आप बात कर रहे हैं तो सर्कुलर का सबसे पहला पॉइंट क्या है? सर ये सर्कुलर है बेसिकली रिलेटेड टू डिपॉजिट रेट्स. डिपॉजिट रेट्स मतलब बैंक्स विच प्रोवाइड लोन टू द पब्लिक as well as they accept deposits from the public, and against the deposit they pay interest rate. So we call it as deposit rates, or you can even call it as interest rate. तो जब भी कभी मैं आपसे बोलूंगा तो या तो मैं बोलूंगा डिपॉजिट रेट या फिर मैं बोलूंगा इंटरेस्ट रेट, दोनों एक ही बात है. तो डिपॉजिट रेट डिसाइड या डिपॉजिट रेट से रिलेटेड ये पर्टिकुलर सर्कुलर है. ठीक है. अब सबसे पहला दिमाग में मेरे क्वेश्चन ये आया कि सर बैंक्स जो इंटरेस्ट रेट ऑफर करते हैं ऑन डिपॉजिट, इज इट डिसाइडेड बाय आरबीआई? माय आंसर इज सर इट इज डिसाइडेड independently. It is decided independently by banks, but conditions or methods can be given by RBI. कि भैया आप इंडिपेंडेंटली डिसाइड करो, हमारा इसमें कोई इन्वॉल्वमेंट नहीं है, लेकिन अगर हमें लगा तो वी विल इंट्रोड्यूस सर्टेन कंडीशंस व्हिच यू शुड कीप इन माइंड बिफोर डिसाइडिंग द डिपॉजिट रेट्स और सर्टेन मेथड्स व्हिच यू मस्ट फॉलो बिफोर डिसाइडिंग द डिपॉजिट रेट्स. तो अब ये सर्कुलर क्या कहता है? सर ये सर्कुलर कहता है कि जो डिपॉजिट रेट्स हैं, डिपॉजिट रेट्स फॉर बल्क डिपॉजिट्स. अब क्वेश्चन ये आता है, व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय द वर्ड बल्क डिपॉजिट? तो बल्क डिपॉजिट का मतलब है डिपॉजिट और आई वुड से ह्यूज डिपॉजिट. और नाउ यू मस्ट बी वंडरिंग कि सर ये ह्यूज डिपॉजिट क्या होता है, कोई ढंग से बताओ ना, कैसी बातें कर रहे हो. तो ह्यूज डिपॉजिट की अगर मैं बात करूं, इफ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक्स लाइक एसबीआई, पीएनबी, एचडीएफसी, एचएसबीसी, अमेरिकन बैंक, अमेरिकन एक्सप्रेस बैंक, तो दीज आर शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक्स. If I include small finance bank, along with this, I will include small finance bank. So for क्या बोलना चाह रहा था? हम्म, हम्म, ठीक है. So I was basically focusing on the scheduled commercial bank and small finance bank. Sir, if a deposit is greater than 3 crores, if the deposit is greater than 3 crores, it will be termed as bulk deposit. It will be termed as bulk deposit. But if you are talking about RRBs, if you are talking about RRBs, or you are talking about urban cooperative banks, RRBs, urban cooperative banks, as well as uh, I would say लोकल एरिया बैंक्स, आई वुड से लोकल एरिया बैंक्स, चाहे फिर वो लोकल एरिया बैंक है या फिर आरआरबी है या फिर अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक में भी टीयर 1 एंड टीयर 2 अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक है. इट इज ऑल डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द डिपॉजिट्स. तो टीयर 1, टीयर 2, टीयर 3, टीयर 4, ठीक है. तो आरआरबीज, टीयर 1, टीयर 2, टीयर 3, टीयर 1, टीयर 2 urban cooperative banks and local area banks. For these banks, the deposit greater than 1 crore, deposit greater than 1 crore will be bulk deposit. And if you're talking about other cooperative banks, whether it is tier 3, tier 4 cooperative banks, for them, for them, if the deposit value is greater than 15 lakhs, if the deposit value is greater than 15 lakhs, it will be considered as bulk deposit. So what is the basic difference between the bulk deposit and the other deposit? Rather, what is the other deposit as in? So whenever we talk about the other deposit, you must remember, so other deposit is termed as retail deposit. अदर डिपॉजिट इज टर्म्ड एज रिटेल डिपॉजिट. तो जो कंडीशन फुलफिल नहीं करेगा वो रिटेल डिपॉजिट है. एंड इन केस ऑफ बल्क डिपॉजिट, banks, or I would say banks, they can even come up with a condition that demand withdrawal is not allowed. Demand withdrawal is not allowed right away. मतलब क्या हो गया? इसका मतलब है डिमांड विड्रॉल विद ग्रेस पीरियड कह सकता हूँ. इसका मतलब क्या है कि सर अगर मान लो मैंने 5 करोड़ की एफडी कराई बैंक में और आज मैं अगर बैंक से अपनी एफडी वापस मांगने गया तो जरूरी नहीं है कि बैंक हाथों हाथ देगा. बैंक कहेगा सर 2 घंटे बाद आ जाना, कल आ जाना प्लीज. और बैंक के पास एक ग्रेस पीरियड है और वो मेरे अकाउंट ओपनिंग के समय ही मुझे बताया गया था दैट इट इज अ ग्रेस पीरियड, वी विल बी यूटिलाइजिंग इट. ऑन द अदर साइड, वन वी हैव फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट एंड द अदर वन वी हैव इज डिमांड डिपॉजिट. तो अगर हमारे पास एक टर्म डिपॉजिट है, एक है हमारे पास डिमांड डिपॉजिट, तो टर्म डिपॉजिट में डिपॉजिट रेट्स कम होंगे इन कंपैरिजन टू टर्म डिपॉजिट. मतलब एफडी पे इंटरेस्ट ज्यादा मिलेगा करंट अकाउंट या सेविंग अकाउंट के मुकाबले. क्यों? क्योंकि सर यहाँ पे वॉलेटाइल है डिपॉजिट, कभी भी बाहर निकल सकता है. और सर यहाँ डिपॉजिट स्टेबल है, बाहर कभी भी निकल सकता है बट कम निकलेगा. इट विल बी टेकन अप बाय द कस्टमर ऑन मेच्योरिटी ओनली. अब अगर मैं बैंक हूं तो ऑब्वियसली आई विल बी ऑफरिंग हायर डिपॉजिट रेट्स इन केस ऑफ बल्क डिपॉजिट, इन कंपैरिजन टू रिटेल डिपॉजिट. सही है ना भैया? अगर रिटेल डिपॉजिट है, कोई 1 लाख रुपए का अकाउंट ओपन करने आया और कोई एक 5 करोड़ का अकाउंट ओपन करने आया, तो ऑब्वियसली मैं चाहूंगा कि 5 करोड़ वाला कस्टमर मेरे पास रुके. तो यहां पर आई विल बी ऑफरिंग हायर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. And you know what? Bulk deposit rate is not stable. It is volatile. ये जो bulk deposit rate है ना, it is volatile. ये stable नहीं होता क्योंकि सर बैंक रोज इसे चेंज करता है as per its requirement, as per its scenarios. तो ये volatile है. तो अगर ये volatile है तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि बैंक हैज टू डिसाइड इट ऑन डेली बेसिस. अब इन सारी चीजों में कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आरबीआई को नजर आई. तो उन प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करने के लिए आरबीआई ने ये सर्कुलर बेसिकली प्रेजेंट किया, जिस सर्कुलर को हम पढ़ रहे हैं. अब आरबीआई क्या कहता है कि सर मेरा सर्कुलर क्या है? आरबीआई कहता है पहली कंडीशन, In case of bulk deposit, every bank, commercial bank, small finance bank, RRBs, urban cooperative banks, local area banks, उनके ऊपर एक condition है. What is that condition? So the condition is they have to decide the bulk deposit rate. They have to decide the bulk deposit rate on the bank's website every day at 10 a.m. अब 10 a.m. बोल देना is very tough. So along with this, you get a 10 minutes window. You will get a 10 minutes window. तो उस 10 minutes की window में मतलब 10 बजे से लेकर 10:10 तक bank will publish deposit rate on its website. Publish the deposit rate on its website, and not only on its website, it will also display the same in its branch. तो branch में भी अगर आपने देखा हो आजकल we have those LEDs which are being inserted or which are being installed, तो उस पे भी आपका ये interest rate क्या होना चाहिए, publish होना चाहिए. Second point is related to general deposit. General deposit मतलब सारे deposits, not only bulk deposit but also the retail deposits. उस केस में it has been mentioned, मैं इसको general deposit will be a wrong word, मैं यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ general disclosure. General disclosure means for every deposit account. So interest rate payable on all deposits must strictly follow the schedule disclosed in advance on bank's website. So जो भी आपने interest rate है which you have offered on deposits, on all deposits, must follow the shared schedule. Follow the shared schedule का मतलब कि अगर मान लो कि मैंने अपनी वेबसाइट पे लिखा कि मेरा जो डिपॉजिट का इंटरेस्ट रेट है दैट विल बी क्रेडिटेड एवरी क्वार्टर, एंड हर क्वार्टर के कंप्लीट होने के या कंप्लीट होने से 2 दिन पहले वो क्रेडिट होगा. सो आई हैव टू फुलफिल दैट कंडीशन, आई हैव टू फॉलो दैट कंडीशन, दैट इज वेरी मच रिक्वायर्ड. ठीक. तीसरा पॉइंट है कि सर बैंक्स दे आर अलाउड टू डिसाइड द बल्क डिपॉजिट. बैंक्स दे आर अलाउड to decide bulk deposit interest rate on their own. They have given this power that rates offered on deposits must be decided by the bank, plus these rates will be uniform for all branches. मतलब अगर आपने बल्क डिपॉजिट का इंटरेस्ट रेट जो डिसाइड किया वो हर ब्रांच के लिए सेम होगा. जो आपने रिटेल डिपॉजिट के इंटरेस्ट रेट डिसाइड किए वो हर ब्रांच के सेम होंगे. ऐसे नहीं अगर ब्रांच बदल गई तो आपका इंटरेस्ट रेट बदल जाएगा. नहीं, सेम डेट सेम टाइम पे आप अपना रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट डिसाइड करोगे. सेम रेट सेम टाइम पे यू विल बी डिसाइडिंग द रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. थर्ड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, उसको ध्यान से सुनना. थर्ड पॉइंट किस पे डिपेंड करता है सर? द थर्ड पॉइंट डिपेंड्स ऑन रन ऑफ रेट. अभी रन ऑफ रेट का मतलब क्या होता है सर? रन ऑफ रेट का मतलब है ड्यूरिंग स्ट्रेस पीरियड what is the probability during stress period, probability of withdrawal फ्रॉम दी अकाउंट. इसका मतलब क्या? इसका मतलब ये है कि सर मान लो मेरे पास, मैं एक बैंक हूं, मेरे पास एक अकाउंट है, उस अकाउंट में आज 100 करोड़ रुपए हैं, और अब मैं ये चेक कर रहा हूं कि फ्यूचर में जब स्ट्रेस पीरियड होगा, फ्यूचर में जब चीजें खराब होंगी, देयर विल बी अ स्ट्रेस पीरियड, जब मान लो कोविड-19, तो उस समय कितना डिपॉजिट आउटफ्लो होगा, मतलब कितना डिपॉजिट विड्रॉ होगा. So this runoff rate can be 5%, it can be 10%, it can be 40%, it can be 100%. तो ये 3-4 कैटेगरीज हैं 5%, 10%, 40%, 100%। अब ध्यान से सुनना, जिस अकाउंट का रन ऑफ रेट ज्यादा होगा, मतलब जिस अकाउंट पे विड्रॉ होने का रिस्क ज्यादा है, उस अकाउंट को बैंक रोकना चाहेगा, है ना। उस अकाउंट को बैंक रोकना चाहेगा ताकि स्ट्रेस पीरियड में विड्रॉ ना किया जाए अमाउंट। तो स्ट्रेस पीरियड में अगर विड्रॉ ना किया जाए अमाउंट, तो उसके लिए बैंक क्या करेगा? सो बैंक विल गिव अ लॉलीपॉप। एंड व्हाट इज दैट लॉलीपॉप? सो द लॉलीपॉप इज you will be providing, lollipop is you will be providing extra rate of interest. Bank will be providing extra rate of interest on these bulk deposits. So what is this? We call it as bank can offer differential. Differential means different. Bank can offer differential. I repeat, bank can offer differential deposit rate on bulk deposit depending upon run off rate. For example, अगर किसी अकाउंट का रन ऑफ रेट लेट्स से 5% है या चलो 40% है, तो बैंक उसे ऑफर कर रहा है डिपॉजिट रेट लेट्स से 7%। दूसरा अकाउंट सेम डिपॉजिट वैल्यू, सेम टाइम पीरियड, सब कुछ सेम, बस रन ऑफ रेट डिफरेंट है, तो बैंक उसे देगा लेट्स सपोज 7.5%। तो बैंक ने ये एक्स्ट्रा लॉलीपॉप इसलिए दिया कि भैया ड्यूरिंग स्ट्रेस पीरियड कोशिश करना अपना पैसा विड्रॉ ना करना, आपके पैसे के विड्रॉ होने की रिस्क ज्यादा है, इसीलिए आई डोंट वांट यू टू विड्रॉ एंड दैट इज द रीजन आई एम गिविंग यू एक्स्ट्रा रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट। सो दिस is how banks they can decide the deposit rates in case of bulk deposit. They can decide the deposit rates in case of bulk deposit. क्या ये तीनों पॉइंट समझ आ गए? If all these 3 points are clear, give me yes sir. पहला पॉइंट क्या कहता है? The bank has to submit today's interest rate on bulk deposit by 10:10 a.m. on its website. Bank should follow the instructions as shared related to interest rate payments. In case of bulk deposit, bank will offer uniform interest rate throughout all the branches, not only for bulk deposit but even for the retail deposit, but we are focusing majorly on bulk deposit. But this interest rate can differ in a same branch. Depending upon on the run off rate of the account. अगर अकाउंट का रन ऑफ रेट ज्यादा है, इंटरेस्ट रेट भी ज्यादा होगा, और अगर रन ऑफ रेट कम है तो इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होगा। दैट इज अ पॉइंट। ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात? समझ आया ये पॉइंट? इफ इट इज क्लियर टिल नाउ जस्ट गिव मी यस सर। इफ इट इज क्लियर टिल नाउ जस्ट गिव मी यस सर। एक बार सोच समझ के मुझे यस सर टाइप करना so that I can move ahead. अब मैं आपको दिखाऊं आरबीआई की वेबसाइट पे कैसा दिख रहा है। दिस इज हाउ इट लुक्स लाइक ऑन आरबीआई वेबसाइट। इफ यू कैन सी, आई विल जस्ट जूम इट। आरबीआई, पहली बात तो सारे के सारे सर्कुलर जो दिए आरबीआई ने वो बैंक टू बैंक डिफरेंट दिए। बैंक ने इंटरेस्ट रेट दिया फॉर लोकल एरिया बैंक, फॉर पेमेंट बैंक, फॉर रीजनल रूरल बैंक, फॉर स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक, फॉर कमर्शियल बैंक्स। तो बैंक ने एक तो 5 सर्कुलर बना दिए, 6 सर्कुलर बना दिए इसके, और 6 सर्कुलर्स को पहले अलग अलग पढ़ो, फिर समझो, पुराने सर्कुलर से लिंक करो, फिर जाकर ये रिजल्ट दो। दैट इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ दिस सेशन, दैट इज द बेनिफिट ऑफ दिस सेशन कि ये जो 5 सर्कुलर्स हैं, जो शायद आरबीआई की वेबसाइट पे बेयर मिनिमम एक सर्कुलर 2 स्लाइड्स का तो होगा। हाँ, एक सर्कुलर अगर 2 स्लाइड का तो 10 स्लाइड के सर्कुलर्स हो गए, वो आपके नोट्स में सिर्फ और सिर्फ 2 स्लाइड्स पे कवर्ड है। वो आपके नोट्स में सिर्फ और सिर्फ 2 स्लाइड्स में कवर है, और वो भी अगर किसी को बल्क डिपॉजिट पता है तो भैया ये भी छोड़ दो स्लाइड, फिर तो एक ही स्लाइड बची और एक स्लाइड में आपका आरबीआई सर्कुलर कंप्लीट हो गया। एम एन लोग कहते हैं कि अगर भैया आरबीआई सर्कुलर पढ़ना तो माधव सर की क्लास अटेंड कर लो, जो पहली बार कर रहे हैं उनको दिखा रहा हूं दिस इज हाउ it's beneficial to attend this class, or what is the benefit of attending this class. The 10 slides on RBI website, which is very dense, which is very minute, are available in your notes at just one slide, and that too in a handwritten format. इससे कम, इससे सिंप्लीफाइड मैं नहीं दे सकता। अगर कहीं मिल रहा हो तो प्लीज जाओ, मुझे भी बताना, बट आई गेस अगर लगा हो कि इससे सिंप्लीफाइड कहीं नहीं देखा तो मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में फीडबैक जरूर देना। इफ यू आर वॉचिंग दिस live or maybe recorded format, please give your feedback once the session is done. Do share your feedback in the comment section. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात। चलो अब पढ़ लेते हैं, अब कुछ बचा नहीं है, अब पढ़ लेते हैं, अब कुछ ज्यादा कहानी बची नहीं है। सर 2025 में डिपॉजिट रूल्स ने मैंडेट किया ट्रांसपेरेंट एंड नॉन discriminatory price, but volatile bulk deposit led to private negotiation and opaque rating settings, क्योंकि भैया रोज चेंज हो रहा है तो उस पर नेगोशिएशन हो रही थी। तो इन सारी चीजों को ओवरकम करने के लिए अब आया Ensure daily public time bound disclosure, standardized branch wide non discrimination rules means सबके लिए same rate of interest, time bound बताओ बल्क डिपॉजिट का इंटरेस्ट, और प्रोवाइड बैंक फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, बैंक को फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दे दो दैट यू कैन डिसाइड द डिपॉजिट रेट नॉट ओनली फॉर द डोमेस्टिक बट ऑल्सो फॉर द नॉन रेजिडेंट बल्क डिपॉजिट बेस्ड ऑन रन ऑफ रिस्क, बेस्ड ऑन रन ऑफ रिस्क। इज इट क्लियर? बेस्ड ऑन रन ऑफ रिस्क। तो जनरल डिस्क्लोजर 10 बजे से लेकर 10 तक, दिस इज फॉर कमर्शियल बैंक्स। Strict non-discrimination, branch uniformity, and domestic as well as foreign, domestic as well as non-resident rupee deposit accounts के लिए it is runoff rate is taken into consideration. You will take into consideration the runoff rate, और runoff rate के basis पे you can offer different rate of interest to different account holders in the same branch. For small finance bank, sir, as it is implemented, कोई change नहीं है. But for RRBs, runoff linked pricing flexibility is not applicable. कि भैया you will not be calculating or you will not be providing the bulk deposit rate, different bulk deposit rate depending upon runoff rate. In case of payment bank, same runoff rate is not allowed. Runoff rate is not allowed. In case of local area banks, urban cooperative banks, it is not allowed. तो अगर मैं इसको conclude करूं तो conclusion ये है, सर commercial banks, small finance banks, payment banks, RRBs, local area banks, urban cooperative banks, local area banks, urban cooperative banks, RRBs, that is true. In case of commercial banks, टाइमलाइंस क्या है सर? 10 बजे से लेकर 10:10 तक, 10 बजे से लेकर 10:10 तक। पेमेंट बैंक्स जनरली दे डोंट एक्सेप्ट बल्क डिपॉजिट, तो उनके लिए इसका मतलब नहीं बनता। दूसरा पॉइंट है कि सर ये जो आपका रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है दैट शुड बी यूनिफॉर्म फॉर ऑल द ब्रांचेस, so this is uniform for all the branches, this is same for payment banks। और अगर मैं बात करूं लिक्विडिटी रन ऑफ रेट की, विच इज रिलेटेड टू लिक्विडिटी कवरेज रेशो, उस कॉन्सेप्ट को नहीं टच करते, रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है। तो दिस इज एप्लीकेबल, दिस इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल, एंड यहां तो है ही नहीं। ठीक है जी, ये ग्राफ जो मैंने बना दिया ये याद रख लेना, इतने में आपकी कहानी बन जाएगी। क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते हैं। टू इंश्योर द फेयरनेस, आरबीआई हैज मैंडेटेड दैट कस्टमर्स विद सिमिलर डिपॉजिट accepted on same day should not receive different interest rate merely because of branch or customer relationship. Consider the following statement. Bank must maintain uniform deposit interest rate across all the branches same. Bank cannot discriminate between similar deposits accepted on same date. Correct. Banks are free to negotiate different interest rate with similar deposits at different branches. No. So answer will be what? That is C option 1 and 2 are correct. That is C option 1 and 2 are correct. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात, समझ आ गया पॉइंट? ठीक है। Agla question is now going to be your homework. So just take the screenshot and I will be looking forward for the answers in the comment section. Next class mein, I will be giving you the answer to this question. In the next class, I'll give you the answer to this question and even I'll explain the concept liquidity coverage ratio. I'm not doing it intentionally. कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि इतना ज़्यादा heavy हो जाए कि हम उसे follow ना कर पाए, cover ना कर पाए. तो I'll cover it in the next class. So that will be all from my side guys in this particular session. एक news और थी जो मैंने बताया था कि एक news और है, but कोई बात नहीं, next class में से cover करेंगे because I hope you guys are tired now. So let's stop over here. You have 3 important news for the day and I'm pretty sure you must have enjoyed it. RBI circular का जो जादू है मुझे लगता है आज आपने पहली बार देखा होगा and I'm pretty sure you guys have enjoyed the magic how RBI circulars are simplified in Madhav's finance norm classes. If yes, do give your feedbacks in the comment section. That will be all from my side. We'll catch you in the upcoming sessions to go. Bye bye. Take care.